Great show today on Alvarez TV. We have 3 grand auditoriums with East Indian rosewood backs and sides, but 3 different tops. We've got Adirondack, Sitka, and the awesome Redwood. And just to mix things up again, we throw in another grand auditorium, this time with flame maple backs and sides. Please join us. Very interesting outcome today on Alvarez TV.
It had a bit of like...
The Fleetwood?
Yeah. A bit of Fleetwood vibes, early Fleetwood. Albatross.
Albatross flying around.
Probably not as well played.
Probably not as well played. Big shoes to fill. What an amazing touch that fella had, didn't he?
Man. Incredible.
He just like, almost like what he didn't play as well. Like he just left all that space and like...
Space in between. Loving it. How you doing, guys?
Hi, everybody. Got a great show today, I think.
know, interesting, man. Interesting.
So we've got 4 grand auditoriums. 3 of them have the same backs, which is East Indian rosewood, and all different top woods. So we have the mighty Redwood.
Beautiful.
Adirondack.
Addy.
Sitka. And this is Sitka, but this one's got flame maple backs and sides. So we sort of threw this one in as a bit of a sort of wild card, really. But like, we did something different. Try to be more organised so we could deliver.
It's a new year. It's a new start.
But actually, we did it so we could deliver like, I don't know, a better synopsis or.
Well, I think it gave
us
the opportunity to listen before we did the show.
Dee and Sam recorded all the guitars with 3 mics. Got the big mics out.
Yeah.
And same parts, a fingerstyle and a strumming, and then we listened to them. I even made notes, and I listened to them before I came to the studio to try and really sort of focusing on the nuances of especially of the top wood. I think when you throw the flame maple in, it's a bit different. But when I got here and played them, some of my notes make sense, and some of them are completely
well, I don't
different.
know. Maybe there's a bit of a caveat here. Maybe as a person who records things, can't discount the sort of human factor of being a sound person as well. And I mean, I was trying to play, Sam and I were sitting here and I'm trying to play the same thing the same way. I had the click track on, so I was playing it exactly in time. And I can't discount the fact that maybe I was trying to make them sound the same volume, and maybe I was a bit lighter on a couple of them, and maybe that's the problem. So that's a caveat. I mean,
that is true,
you know?
Because when I listen to the recordings, nothing jumped out of being louder. But when you played them here, they're different. And again, your ear plays tricks on you because like there's louder and there's. Let's look beyond volume, right?
Because volume is very misleading. Because volume, sometimes people think that volume things that are louder sound better.
It's like, oh, I love that. It's loud, or bass as well on acoustic guitars we talked about before. So let's try and look beyond the volume. Actually, the recordings don't do that so much. First of all, get into some specs. Redwood, which is coastal redwood, sequoia, is about 450 on the Anchor scale, hardness.
Yes.
That is 490, which is Adirondack. And a Sitka is actually the hardest, as in if you're pushing a ball bearing into the wood and measuring that. This is far more behaves like spruce than it does cedar, even though it's a redwood. And I don't think we should get that, because cedar's much softer than redwood. I think it's about 3 something.
Yeah, and much more mellow, isn't it?
Much more mellow, and like, you know, responds completely different. So this is a hard cedar almost, and you kind of get that. Like you keep saying, it sounds old, sounds vintage, all that sort of stuff. But Sitka is in a lab sort of sense the hardest one. But like when you play this, so my recordings were like, this was full and robust. I started with that one.
So Sitka Rosewood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I played the Adirondack, and I said, oh, wow, it's all there, but clearer, right? And I thought there was more scoop in the Adirondack.
Yeah.
And then I played, this is more, for me, very middling. We'll have a strum in a second. And then this was, all I could describe it was sort of special, different. Yeah. And I found it hard to describe Redwood in this context. But there was something about it that I just... When I heard you playing these 3, I was listening to the sound of the guitar, and I noticed to myself, when I heard you play this one, I drifted off. I enjoyed it. I did that twice. So it's like, for some reason, this one made me listen to the music, where the other ones kept me listening to the instrument, which is weird. Spirit in the wood. Maybe. Definitely the oldest piece of wood here. I mean, this is, Mr. Yairi had this redwood for decades. It's old growth. This could from a tree several hundreds.
That's Californian, right? Or
coastal.
Is it coastal, oh,
yeah.
Right. So
you've got the giant sequoias in the parks, and then you've got, obviously on the coast, you've got other types of coats called coastal redwood.
Right.
A different type of sequoia. But when I'm here, it was all different. And these two, for me, respond in a really similar way. And actually their hardness or their top, but they sound different, but they respond similar. So I'll do it so it's like the same thumb. So to me, there's a bit, you describe it as chocolate. I love it when people use different terms like, oh, it's got chocolate or orange, or chocolate orange. It's like, there's something, it's like they respond similar to me, and it's almost like this has got a more hi-fi. This, like you described earlier, you said it sounds more expensive.
It does sound more expensive. Well, because I think it has that classic smiley EQ. It has very
hi-fi,
sparkly, expensive sounding highs, but it also has that lovely richness in the lows. Not that it has anything taken away from the mids, it's just that they're more pronounced.
So this to me has something similar, but it has a slightly darker overall sound.
I said to you before that it made me think that it was like a more played in guitar. Yeah. Like it had been sitting around for a while and it sort of settled, and it felt in the same way when you hear those old pre-war guitars, they have that kind of
Yeah. So to me, like, they're similar. This is slightly darker, especially on the trebles. I don't know if that comes across in the A's and B's, but again, like, we've talked about this before, it's completely different. Once you stick anything in front of a mic, like...
It is true.
It's just totally different to your ears.
Yeah.
Like
and we try to get around that by we put the overhead.
Oh, you did,
you can see in the film we put the overhead on the top, and I mixed a bit of that in because we've discussed a lot about sitting in front of something or sitting with it here is a different perception. So we just thought we'd try and emulate.
So you've got these like hi-fi kind of guitars going on. Then we threw this in the mix. Actually, shall we do this one first? Because this is Sitka as well.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And then this is... So to my ear, this is more... There's more air, it's more open.
Yeah.
It's there, it's clear, it's nicely balanced. It's like, it's freer, but there isn't a sound behind the sound somehow of these two. Of like the Redwood, but a lot of people, I think, either sort of for strumming especially.
I was thinking that would be a great playing
strumming singer-songwriter.
Because the last thing you want when something is amplified is to have it too much more bottom end. We've discussed that loads of times, haven't we, in the past? But that would be a great I'm playing with people amplified guitar, because it's got a something about it it's like a bit of more of a level field, EQ wise.
So then we threw this into the mix. Plain maple backs and sides, Sitka top, and I thought this is going to sound toppy. Like you said, did you have like a brittle sound in mind? Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, to me it's the one with the most mids.
That's much louder than that.
Well, I was probably strumming that a little harder, but it's like, this has got like, where that's got loads of air in between the strings, how I see it, and this one's all compact, like it seems like a middle punchy thing, which sometimes, maple isn't known for. And again, it's how you build all this stuff.
Is that the reason why maple gets used on jumbos, for example? Because it hasn't got all that woof about it. It is a bit more brittle, so it can handle a larger body shape.
I don't know if that was decided back when like the J200 came out.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
I'm thinking they probably weren't thinking that.
Right. It just had some maple.
Just maple was like available in the what was it, 20s or something?
Mm-hmm. And we find ourselves like 100 years later, like overanalyzing everything.
Overanalyzing everything, like we all do, right?
And they were just making guitars and they had some wood knocking around, yeah.
I think for this one, even like doing the recording prior to the show, listening to that, I'm almost more confused. One, again, mic and ears, completely different ball game. Two, maple sound in this middly warm, compact, almost like a mahogany type of thing. And I guess from a density perspective, there's not a lot of difference. But these two, to me, behave the same, but have a different colour. But they behave the same.
That's interesting.
These two are totally different.
What is it that you like about this? Because we were both impressed with the
Super
80.
impressed. I think for singer-songwriter, lovely, full, nice, not overly loud, but really full. Lots of nice mids. You'd love this guitar. I think if you're precision, maybe lead, fingerstyle, either the Redwood or the Adirondack. These two versatile. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I think that sounds super hi-fi. That sounds really hi-fi.
Well, because we've been listening to Sitka or Mahogany for years, and then this came along this year, didn't it? This is a brand new thing for last year, 2024.
What's your favourite?
I don't know. Can I put myself out here? Yeah. And I think that my least not wanting to be in any way kind of, you know, negative about this, because I feel positive about all of them, but I think my least favourite is the classic Sitka rosewood combo on this particular shape. I don't think it's, I think if I hadn't heard any other guitars, it'd be like, this is a great guitar. But then you hear the other ones and you go, ooh, this is interesting. I don't know whether that's
a particularly good one or something.
I don't know. It just sounds so expensive. You pick it up and you just go, wow. But Adirondack is like, this Adirondack
this is actually the most expensive one.
Yeah.
And then that one.
That makes sense. But yeah, this is the warmth.
So you had to, if you're taking one home, what are you taking?
Addy.
You taking the Addy?
Yeah.
I think you're right, but it's just something in for me, something in the chocolateness, chocolate-ness of that one. And I think it's like, whether it's the age or the kind of the vintagey thing going on,
it does
sort of get lost off in it.
It does really suit this shape.
Yeah.
But it also really suits, there's an FYM 74.
That's true.
CE. Yeah. We haven't got an FYM 74 without a cutaway.
We'll have to make one.
That would be very interesting.
Anyway, we hope you can, sorry for that confusion, or it didn't really shine a light on anything, but have a listen to the A, B, C and Ds at the end, see what you think. They're different to what we've done here. They're through a lot of, God, there's a lot of money's worth of mics that you're putting through, actually. Yeah. And
yeah, I used the big.
There's an AA,
I used the big
Telefunk and a DPA on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of money's worth of mics on there.
Anyway, have a listen, see what you think, and tell us what you think. I mean, if you're out there and you've tried Redwoods or Adirondack, whatever, you know, especially in this shape as well, they're not dreads, which is another different thing. These are, you know, they haven't got that all that air volume that we talk about with dreadnoughts. But anyway. Have a listen.
Definitely interested to hear what people have to say about why you would pick a certain, you know, wood config for your playing style. You know, are you a finger picker? Are you a strummer? Are you using this guitar to play as a singer-songwriter? You know, yeah, that's interesting for us, isn't it?
Cool.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Enjoy. See you.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. If you want to watch more videos like this one, click the video on the screen now.